It's great to be here. Yanbing, thank you so much for making time to be with us today. I know you have a busy schedule,
Thank you, Joe, for having me.
right from the keynote to analyst meetings to customer meetings. So thank you for being with us. And thank you to all of you as well for joining us for this Rockstar session today. My name is Joe Samagon. I'm part of the executive communications team here at VMware. And as you all know, I'm here with Yanbing Li, who's part of our engineering leadership team within the software-defined data center. So Yanbing, let me just start with some questions to kind of dig deeper into your background. Tell us more about your journey, your career path up to VMware, and then move on to what you're doing at VMware nowadays.
Okay, so a history lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a fairly simple career. After getting my PhD in computer engineering, so I joined a company called Synopsys. So this is an EDA software company. And then I ended up at VMware almost 8 years ago. So sometimes I think about what is the relationship between these two companies. And my first company is really about building software that accelerate the design of hardware. And I think at VMware, we're building software to make hardware less relevant. So I do think there is a good connection of the two. So in my almost 8 years with VMware, I had a fun job. So I started in Palo Alto. I moved to Beijing right before the Olympics, and I moved back to Palo Alto again 2 years ago. So I got to do many different things along my way in VMware, and today I'm doing everything storage for VMware.
Yeah. No, that's great. And given your role where you have teams all over the world, and the fact that you have had a global experience, and I think that's been a great match for you.
Yeah, I love the global aspect of our job.
Right. I think I was thinking about your comment about the interface between software and hardware. And over the last 2 decades, certainly we've seen those cycles where sometimes hardware is leading innovation, sometimes software is leading innovation, and now we live in an era of the software-defined data center and unified hybrid cloud, where the two come together.
Absolutely.
And the VMware feels to be very lucky to be in the vanguard of some of that change. And you've been right in the middle of that because you have been working in groups that actually span both these areas.
Yeah, that's true. So, in case you've seen my introduction at the keynote, so I do have 2 bosses. That's not joking. And so I don't get the benefit of being paid twice working for these 2 bosses. But I do get the benefit of really seeing software, cloud come together. So, I'm the kind of a personal example of our unified hybrid cloud. So, sometimes internally they call me not unified, they call me bipolar. But I try to be unified as much as I can.
That's great. Now, one of the things that's been good for me this VMworld is I actually got a chance to work with Yanbing as part of the day 1 keynote. And I observed her working incredibly hard over the last 2-3 months. Day in, day out, preparing, practicing, and it's been a privilege working with you on that, Yanbing.
Well, who in the audience saw our keynote on Monday? Okay, quite a lot of you. So this is the hero behind all the good stuff you've seen, because he has been, the overall mastermind, behind all the work that put it together. So let's give a shout out to Joe.
Thank you.
He wasn't in the spotlight, as all of us, but he's a hero behind the scene.
Thank you, Yanbing. I'll tell you one thing though, it's a lot easier being behind the scenes with some knobs and buttons versus standing on a stage looking at 15,000 people staring at you. I'm pretty sure I would freeze. How was that experience for you?
How was that experience? I realized it was very easy because I was doing this together with Ray and Raghu and Bill. Obviously, they've done it many times. And I saw them more nervous than I was.
Right.
So that immediately
you
put
felt
me
better.
at ease.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were all pacing back and forth behind the scene. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, if they are affected that way, surely it will be okay
Yeah.
for you. Talking about VMworlds, you mentioned you've been here 7, 8 years. How many VMworlds have you been to over that period of time?
I think probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to VMworld here in the US and in Europe as well,
Right.
Copenhagen, Barcelona. This is always the most energizing moment of being a VMware employee. You feel not only the energy, in the exhibit area, in the sessions, and just interaction with our customers and partners. That's always
Yeah, no,
very
quite true.
energizing.
I haven't been here as long as you have, so this is only my third VM World. But I've been at other large tech companies in Silicon Valley, and I've been to many of the big events that you typically go to from other large companies. And I've been very impressed with the way VM World comes together and kind of how it kind of takes over this part of San Francisco for 3 days. Looking back at some of the previous VM Worlds, you've been to a lot more than I have. Are there any moments or something exciting over the previous VM Worlds that have stuck in your mind?
Yeah, that's. Let me think about it. I think it was a very pivotal moment. I think when Raghu unveiled the vision around software-defined data center, because we have been long known as a virtualization company.
Right.
And when he started to paint that broad vision, I think it was Raghu, Steve Harold was still our CEO,
CTO,
and
right?
Paul Maurice, CTO, and Paul was our CEO.
Right.
I think that is when I feel, now I'm in this much bigger league of this much broader vision. So that is made quite an impression on me.
Yeah. No,
I
good.
actually saw a preview of that with Steve together. We did a lot of that at a different event
I see.
just to test out.
I see.
So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
And then talking about this VMworld, so we are now in day 3. Obviously, the day 1 was a big moment for you as part of the
Absolutely,
main stage
yeah.
keynote. What have you observed over the past 3 days here that have been most interesting for you, personally?
Okay, most interesting for me. Anybody loved our cross-cloud vMotion? Nobody loved our. Okay, so that definitely was a highlight for me. I was overwhelmed by the amount of reaction coming from all of our customers, the VMware fan base, and made me realize, the core of VMware is, this is how we started,
Right.
but how we continue to push the envelope. So I was definitely flattered by all the positive, comments we've seen on Twitter. There was a Fortune article even. So, that's all the goodness about VMware. And certainly in the storage space, we are introducing quite a few new products. The third edition of Virtual SAN.
Right.
My team was actually very nice to me. I didn't get to cover or demo Virtual SAN on the main stage, but I did a shout out. So that's become, I've become the new captain Virtual SAN now. So that was my other favorite moment.
Yeah. I remember at maybe the previous VMworld, Rollinson used to play that role. He's always been a
Yes.
big cheerleader for Virtual SAN. So now there's
And
2 of
he's
you.
actually my secret coach.
Oh, is that right?
So I got advice from Rollinson.
How-
And when I say, anytime I told him, if I say the word Virtual SAN, he need to do something in the audience.
I think I heard him. I think I heard him.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears to kind of take a look at something that Jennifer made reference to at the very start, which is earlier this year, I think 4 or 5 months ago, there was a list of 23 most powerful women engineers in the world. I'm not sure why 23. It just seemed like an odd number, but there was a list of 23, and you were on that list. So first of all,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it feel like, and what does it mean to people in the audience over here who are going on a similar journey, whatever the personal journey or goal might be, and
Okay.
what did it mean to you?
Yeah, so I was number 7. So after that, I have a new nickname called 007. So that's how I'm internally known. So it was quite flattering to be added to the list, especially among very special women like Diane Green. She's on the list. She's our founder. I joined VMware when she was still our CEO. So to be put in the same league or the same mention, that was a huge honor. I'm personally very passionate about promoting more women into engineering. And I have to, I have to say that was a recognition where, again, to show how important it is for us to continue to emphasize the importance of having women and to continue to promote more role models.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Yanbing. A couple of other questions before we wrap up here. What do you do in your free time? What do you do when you're not talking about storage or software-defined center? What are some of your
Okay.
hobbies?
What do you think we have free time here? um, what do I do? You know, I am a mother of 3 kids, so they are my free or not free time.
Right.
So I do some running. Mostly it's between work and kids and family.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to pick up a lobby when my kids go to college, probably. Yeah.
And then I'll close by asking you one question that my colleague Erin asked Sanjay yesterday, which is,
Okay.
what if your career path did not quite follow the journey it has so far and lead you to where you are today in technology? What else might you have done?
What else might have happened? So I picked engineering because my father was an engineer.
Ah.
So he has this unrealized dream of becoming a computer engineer. And my mom was a doctor, and she didn't allow me to become a doctor. She felt, you know, doctor involves night shifts. That's not good for me. So, but, you know, thinking, you know, just looking forward, I think I'm destined to be in engineering. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I haven't programmed probably for 10 years, but I definitely love this job. And I see that reflected in my kids as well. You know, I have, my son is all about computer. Even my girls are learning Java programming at a very young age on Khan Academy.
Nice.
So I think it runs in my blood.
Yeah.
So that's just who I am.
That's great. But
Yeah.
you know, the passion shows, the success shows because you're doing what you love to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thank
so
you,
let me,
Joe.
let me pause here and see if there are any questions from the audience for you.
Yes.
I'm just curious, as someone who covers technology, how you communicate what you do to people who aren't technical.
How do you communicate?
How you communicate what you do or what VMware does to people who aren't technical, who don't really know what it is.
Yeah, so the question is how we communicate to people who aren't technical. I personally, yeah. So let me give you an example. I was rehearsing my keynote in front of my kids. So, and they get fed up hearing about hybrid cloud. And my daughter said, why am I not invited to VMware conference? Because she said, you know, I shop on Amazon and I use VMware Fusion, so I'm hybrid cloud. So I do think, you know, sort of communicating with non-technical audience, yeah. Yeah, so that has always been a hard problem for VMware. We're infrastructure, very difficult for non-technical people to understand. The way I look at it is through narrative, you know, metaphors, analogies. That's what I like to do. So hopefully that's some of that came across through some of our presentations. Yeah, we try to make it easier for people to consume. Yeah, but we can do a better job. That's Joe's pursuit as part of our communication team.
Thank you, Yanbing. Anybody else with any questions for Yanbing? If not, she's going to be in the booth for a little bit more time. So if you want to talk to her one-on-one, she'll be available as well.
Thank you so much for showing up.